A blessed day to everyone. I am Donna Ilcano Bermal, a student of CTDE Department under Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Electronics Technology. And now, I will present to you my research with the title, The Integration Possibility of North and South Korea Peninsula to Build Inter-Korean Relations, which discusses the considerable circumstances and factors that determine the possibility of North and South Korea to be unified as one state. First, let's find out the background to this issue on why Korea was divided. Let's discuss the border dispute of North Korea and South Korea. Let's talk about Korea. Korea is a peninsula on the eastern coast of Asia. It is divided into North Korea and South Korea. It runs along 38 degrees north parallel for 148 miles or 238 kilometers between the Sea of Japan in the east and the Yellow Sea in the west. So, ngayon naman, i-describe natin at alamin ang pagkakaiba ng North and South Korea. Unahin na natin ang North Korea. North Korea is bounded in the northeast by Russia and in the north by China, in the east by the Sea of Japan, in the south by South Korea, and in the west by the Yellow Sea. So dito makikita natin ang lokasyon ng North Korea. Ang capital ng North Korea ay tinatawag na Pyongyang. It is a multi-party state, has one of the world's largest army. Kasi kung malalaman natin, North Korea has the second largest number of total military personnel in the world, with 7,679,000 troops out of an approximate population of 25 million. There are 1,190,000 active, 6,300,000 reserve, and 189,000 paramilitary personnel. And as of 2021, it is the second largest military organization in the world, with 30.4% of the North Korean population actively serving in the reserve or in a paramilitary capacity. While South Korea is a peninsular country in Eastern Asia, its only land boundary in the north with North Korea, and ang capital ng South Korea ay ang Seoul, and it more westernized. Korean War, 1949 to 1953. In Korean War, Peninsula was divided into two nations, one supported by the United States and the other by the Soviet Union and China. So, noong Korean War, ang North Korea ay sinuportahan ng Soviet Union and China, while the South Korea was supported by the United States. In June 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea. The invasion was the idea of North Korean Premier Kim Il-sung. The risk that China would enter the war was accepted willingly by the General Douglas MacArthur. Dahil sa Korean War, nagkaroon ng 38 parallel, popular name given to latitude 38 degrees north that in East Asia roughly demarcates North Korea and South Korea. The line was chosen by US military planners at the Potsdam Conference noong July 1945, near the end of World War II, as an army boundary, north of which the USSR. Causes of conflict. The invasion was the idea of Kim Il-sung, who managed to convince Stalin that the South Koreans would greet the Northerners as liberators, thus ensuring an easy, quick victory of the North. The risk that China would enter the war was accepted willingly by General MacArthur because they were so sure that the Chinese won't intervene, but the Chinese did intervene, expanding communism in Korea. The rise of Cold War tensions between communist and non-communist nations. When the Japanese Empire was dismantled at the end of the World War II, Korea fell victim to the Cold War. It was divided into two spheres of influence along the 38th parallel. The Americans controlled south of the line. The Russians installed a communist regime in the north, later ceding influence to China. And yung mga effects ng conflicts are high number of casualties in North Korea and South Korea, widened the gap between the United States and the Soviet Union on the issue of communism. South Korea is now an economic power while North Korea suffers deep poverty. Border tussles. North Korea has long sought to change a 1953 era sea boundary. Dito makikita natin ang 38th parallel na naghahati sa North and South Korea. And ito ang disputed Yellow Sea boundary. Due to this issue, some countries are working on ways to reunite North and South Korea. Two Koreas on the Korean Peninsula, the Republic of Korea, ROK or South Korea, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK or North Korea. The DPRK is a nuclear state, threatening peace and security on the Korean Peninsula and in Northeast Asia. It is stable under the Kim Jong-un regime. President Park Geun-hye in February 2013 adopted a new policy towards North Korea known as the Korean Peninsula Trust Building Process to improve hostile inter-Korean relations. The ROK and the DPRK have different unification formula. The Democratic Federal Republic of Korea, DFRK, formula of North Korea and the Korean National Community, KNC, unification formula of South Korea because of conflicting unification formula and alternatives to the existing unification formula of the two Koreas is thus desirable. The DPRK's unification formula, Democratic Federal Republic of Korea. Kim Tu-sung set forth the DFRK plan in his report to the 6th Congress of Workers' Party of Korea on October 10, 1980. Kim claimed that it was the most realistic and shortest way to realize Korea's reunification on the basis of the three principles of independence, peaceful reunification, and great national unity. The ROK's Korean National Community, KNC unification formula. As the Cold War was rapidly dismantled in the late 1980s, President Roh Tae-woo initiated a new engagement policy towards North Korea in a special declaration of July 7, 1988, in an address to the National Assembly on September 11, 1989. Roh presented his original Korean National Community, KNC unification formula, which has been the official unification formula of the ROK, Seoul, and Pyongyang. President Kim Dae-jung and Chairman Kim Jong-il signed the June 15 Joint Declaration at the historic First Summit, opening a new era of reconciliation, cooperation, and peace between the two Koreas. Since then, inter-Korean relations substantially improved until the advent of the Lee Myung-bak government in February 2008. The second Inter-Korean Summit, October 2007, between President Roh Moo-hyun and Chairman Kim further contributed to inter-Korean peace and reunification processes. However, North Korea's nuclear issue has been a key obstacle to peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and in the Northeast Asia. The second paragraph of the June 15 Joint Declaration states, acknowledging that there are common elements in the South's proposal for a confederation and the North's proposal for a federation of lower stage as the formula for achieving reunification. The South and the North agreed to promote reunification in the direction in the future. Struggles with unification. The cost of social welfare benefits paid to South Korean citizens is nearly 1,600 USD. If the number of North Korean defectors increases, it will be difficult for the South Korean governments to manage this huge financial burden. If northern workforce goes south, economic devastation in North, brain drain, and increase in unemployment in South Korea will lead to further resentment of northerners. Low productivity in northern firms will lead to further unemployment in market economy. Problems and challenges. Southern and foreign investors may be reluctant to invest in these outdated industries because it takes time and money to upgrade old facilities and management systems. After the reunification, most laborers are likely to go to the South in order to get more job opportunities and higher salaries, negatively affecting regional growth and development. Both nations claim to represent Korea. Both nations joined the United Nations in 1991 and recognized by most of the member states in the United Nations. In 2000, President of South Korea Kim Dae-jung became the first president to visit North Korea after 55 years of North and South divisions in the peninsula. In 2018, beginning with North Korea's participation in the 2018 Winter Olympics, the relationship has seen a major diplomatic breakthrough and become significantly warmer. In April 2018, the two countries signed the Panmunjom Declaration for Peace, Prosperity and Unification of the Korean Peninsula. In 2018, a majority of South Koreans approved the new relationship. The two countries are experiencing different problems. There are many processes in the reunification of the two countries. For me, it can be realized by having a good relationship between the countries, and my proposed solution is the reunification of North and South Korea, inter-Korean relations, and make laws that can help its unity. Restriction curriculum of both North and South Korea, prevent Southern discrimination, give Northerners a fair shot at participating in the politics, economy, and society. Reduce the share of inefficient and outdated heavy industries in the North, and encourage Southern and foreign entrepreneurs to invest in previous heavy industries. The road to a unified Korea through neutralizations will be long, rough, and difficult. The DPRK's nuclear issue has been a key obstacle to the peace process on the Korean Peninsula, and its denuclearization process has been long installed since its long-range rocket launch on 5 April 2009. Whether the DPRK will resume the denuclearization process remains to be seen. Government's role in the transformational period. Therefore, the political will of the two Korean top leaders is required. The ROK and the DPRK must take the initiative to persuade the Korean people in the four major powers to accept a neutralized unification formula to construct a unified one Korean state. Seoul and Pyongyang need to begin building mutual trust. First, ceasing their arms race, avoiding military confrontation, and gradually engaging in military security confidence building between the two Koreas to normalize inter-Korean relations by reducing tensions on the Korean Peninsula.